Hey everybody, it's Steve here, and welcome back to Metroid. In this part, well, the main item that we're heading for is to pick up the wave beam. I've said this before, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but for completion's sake, I will pick it up. Along the way, we'll probably be able to snag some more missile packs. Excuse me, jeez. Nothing like starting a recording just to have to cough. But I do a lot of that. You know, yeah, I do smoke. It's a horrible habit. It's a ridiculous habit. It's one that I guess anyone who smokes knows what I'm talking about. Where you love it and you hate it at the same time. You know, there's that huge part of me that does want to quit smoking, but there's that other part that really doesn't. And I think anyone who's been in the situation knows what I'm talking about. Wow, when I just started this, I didn't realize I was going to be talking about this topic, but I don't know. It's one of those things that I've obviously tried to quit in the past. I've never lasted too long. I don't know. It's a horrible habit, and I'll be the first one to admit it, and I'll be the first one to say that I wish I'd never started. You know, so many years ago. But I don't know, what are you going to do? I am reaching the point where I feel like I am ready to try quitting again. It's probably coming pretty soon. But then whenever I say that I procrastinate and I set some, you know, a quit date that's like so far into the future that it gives me time to back out of my plan to quit. I don't know. It's definitely a struggle. It's something that you can bomb through this floor somewhere. There we go. But anyway, like I said, we're going to pick up some missile packs on the way to the wave beam. I'm probably not going to keep the wave beam for very long, just because I don't particularly care for it, as opposed to the ice beam. I think I've said that so many times, everyone's sick of hearing me say it. Oh, here's an interesting little way. You got to bomb yourself up through the hole there. Okay, if I could get across here, that'd be great. Okay. Anyone who's seen Office Space knows what imitation that is. Office Space, to me, is it's a funny movie. I know it's got kind of a cult following, but for me, it takes on some different meaning. I think that anyone who's ever worked in an office kind of setting could probably, you know, relate to some of the office politics and the way that some of the annoyances that occur in an office in that game. But for me, it's special. I've told many people this, that I used to work for a certain company, and I'm going to try and keep this as anonymous as possible. It was a long time ago, but anyway, my boss at that company looked, acted, sounded like a Lumberg, the boss in Office Space. If anyone wonders, you know, what my boss was like at this company, it was a Lumberg, and that was the way that he spoke, and that was the way that he treated people. So that movie, you know, really takes on a different meaning for me, because it will always remind me of that job. And I had that. Then we're talking about oh gosh, what's it been now? You know, like good 10 years ago. Yeah, I think I got let go in 2000. Yeah, so it's been like 10 years, but you know, I was just, you know, watching that movie again the other day, and it just doesn't lose its significance. And I always think of, you know, this boss that I had at the time, who we all just couldn't stand. Oh, more backtracking. Yep. Yeah, man, those you know, bouncing ball enemies that are just nothing but a pain before you get the screw attack. Then once you got that, it just becomes so much easier. These little gumdrop platforms obviously always make me think of candy. I guess Halloween's coming up soon enough. I can't believe that the summer is like almost all is gone already. It's gonna be September in just a few days, and once again, I just feel like I don't want to say wasted summer, but it just feels like I never have time for anything, and work consumes most of my time, and it's just sad to think that summer's gone, and before you know it, you know, we'll be dealing with freaking mountains of snow again, which I hate. But anyway, we'll talk. I'm sure I'll be rambling about snow, you know, when any of these videos that I get put up during the winter. I'm sure you'll hear all about it. But yeah, those little gumdrop platforms remind me of candy and Halloween, and that's coming up. I guess again, that's something else as Halloween approaches. We'll talk more about it. I've never been a fan, but that's coming up too. We'll talk about that later too. All these topics I'm thinking of to discuss in the future, and I wonder if when the time comes, if I'll remember to talk about them, or if I'm just going to go rambling off on some tangent about something completely random. And again, you can bomb through the floor here. All kinds of secret passageways in this game, and as with most of the NES games at the time, there's just certain things that you would never know to do without either, you know, a friend telling you to. Obviously, these games were around long before, you know, walkthroughs and you know, all the stuff you can find on the internet today about, you know, how to get through a game. You know, you had to figure this stuff out for yourself, or, you know, you had to know someone. You know, the biggest source of information that we had at the time was like magazines like Nintendo Power, you know, that would give you these little tips. But you know, these games were just really challenging, and made you explore and made you think and try and figure things out on your own. You know, unlike the games of today that kind of almost hold your hand somewhat, you know, throughout the game. That's not how it was back in the 8-bit era. Not to be all nostalgic and yearn for the 8-bit days, you know, but you can't help it sometimes. And here's yet another missile pack. See, in all that time I spent rambling, we found like another 2 missile packs. But I think it's time to finally just get the wave beam already. And then you can all stop listening to me talk about it. So we're going to head off for that next. Speaking of nostalgia, I guess this is one of those games that has a huge nostalgic value to me. But I guess if I were to think of the game in a different way, I would have to admit that it's kind of lost some of its, you know, luster over the years. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's a good game. It's a fun game. I enjoy it, but it's in comparison to other games of the times, you know, Super Mario Brothers, Mega Man, that to me just have huge replay value, and I can play those games and they're just as fresh, as to me anyway, as the day that they were made. Oh, this is not good. This is a problem. Okay, thank you. There's an instance where an enemy actually became helpful. Falling in between those 2 pillars, these little eyeball pillars things, what do you want to call them, into the lava there. That was not good. That could have really been bad. Because it's, the pillars are just high enough where you can't jump over them, so if you fall into that lava between them, you're stuck there. But thankfully one of these little you know, seahorse-looking enemies hit me and knocked me out. So that was kind of lucky. That could have really been the end of the game right there. That wasn't. I gotta be more careful. Anyway, at long last though, this is the wave beam. I will use it for a little while, you know, give everyone an idea of what it does, but it's not gonna be for long. Basically, it shoots out this wavy beam. You know, go figure. It's called the wave beam. It kind of plows through things. It plows through the walls that you can shoot. It's more powerful than the ice beam, but to me it's not as valuable, honestly. Gosh, from here, there should be another missile pack pretty close by. I'm gonna go grab that. Yeah, gotta be really careful on these pillars made of these eyeball things. I love just coming up with names for things that I don't know the real name for. Like I've said before, the enemies and whatnot in this game have strange names, and I don't think I could ever remember them without looking them up. But as you can see, the wave beam just plows through, you know, these blocked walls. But anyway, we got the wave beam, and I'm gonna probably leave it at that for this episode. And we'll pick it up from right here next time. So everyone, take care of yourselves, have a good day, and we'll see you next time on Metroid. Peace.